Hello and welcome back to another video on the Football Zone and to a weekend review, reviewing the Premier League games from this last weekend, and starting off with Brentford securing a big win over Manchester United 3-1, and Brentford racing to an early lead through Thiago with both goals. Sesko pulled one back and it looked like United equalised, but Bruno Fernandes missed his penalty and Jensen scored at the end to make it 3-1, and it's quite an even game, not much separating two sides, but Brentford taking control of the moments, Manchester United didn't, and it's a disastrous result for Ruben Amorim, and the pressure firmly on him now. Moving on into a thrilling result for Man City, defeating Burnley 5-1, and they went ahead for an own goal, but Anthony equalised just before half time. However, Nunes, Aceve and two late goals from Haaland made it 5-1, and in the end it was probably less dominant than the scoreline suggested, but City dominated the game really, fully deserving winners, and a big win for City, comfortable win as well in the end. For Burnley it's always going to be a tough result. I think they'll just be disappointed with kind of the scoreline with those few late goals, making it seem worse than it actually should have been. Moving on into Leeds 2, Bournemouth 2 at Ellen Road, and it's Semenyo in the 26th minute who gave Bournemouth the lead before Rodon and Longstaff either side of half time made it 2-1, but a late goal for Bournemouth made it 2-2, and Leeds will be gutted that they didn't win this game. They were the better team here, and for me really should have seen it out. So I think they'll still take it. It's a promising result, shows that newly promoted teams can compete with those at the top of the league currently, but I think they'll be disappointed that they didn't come away from this one with the victory. Moving on into Crystal Palace, and they ended Liverpool's winning start to the season with a 2-1 win over them. Ismaila Sarr with a goal in the 9th minute before Chiesa equalised on 87th, and then in 97th minute it was Eddie Nketiah with a goal for Crystal Palace. Slot time kind of being reversed onto Liverpool here, and you'd have to say Palace were good value for it. They played really well, an incredible run there on under Oliver Gardner, and the only unbeaten team this season is an absolutely huge achievement for them. But for Liverpool, this is a really disappointing result, not to continue their momentum at the start of the season. Moving on into Chelsea 1, Brighton 3 at Stamford Bridge, and it was Enzo Fernandez in the 24th minute who gave Chelsea the lead, but Trevor Chalobah was sent off in the 53rd minute, and that led to Danny Welbeck getting a goal in the 77th minute, and then Dysaipa and Welbeck with stoppage times goals to seal the win for Brighton. And it was that sending off that really turned the game on its head, and a huge win for Brighton. Fantastic comeback victory. They'll be absolutely delighted with that. But for Chelsea, it's another costly error, and you can't be having too much of those, because that's a really disappointing result. Moving on into Nottingham Forest 0, Sunderland 1 at the City ground, and Sunderland took the lead in the 38th minute, and you'd have to say Forest pushed for it, probably deserved to get a draw, but in the end Sunderland defended resolutely, and their incredible start to the Premier League season continues. Unbelievable. But for Ange Postecoglou, I would argue he's had probably quite a kind run of games to kick off his time as Forest manager, and he hasn't got a win yet, so that would be hugely disappointing for him. And I think questions probably will be being asked by Mr. Marinakis sooner rather than later. Moving on then to Tottenham 1, Wolves 1 at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and Kudus had a goal disallowed in the first half before Bueno gave Wolves the lead in the 54th minute, but João Palhinha in the 94th minute made it 1-1, and in the whole there wasn't a lot to separate these two sides. I'd say a draw was probably deserved, and I think both teams will be leaving frustrated. Wolves are getting their first point of the season, but having 3 points right until the end and giving it away, and then Tottenham, this is a game where they would have been expecting a win, so probably frustrating for them too. Moving on into Villa 3, Fulham 1 at Villa Park, and when Jimenez gave Fulham the lead in the 3rd minute, you kind of feared for Villa, but they turned it around. Watkins before half time, then McGinn and Buendia in the second half. Big win for Villa, and they'll be looking to carry some momentum forward now. It wasn't the best performance in the world, but I think just for this game, getting a win was all that mattered, and that's what they did. So I think they'll be very happy. But for Fulham, I think after a good start going ahead, they'll be really disappointed not to take more from this game. Moving on into Newcastle 1, Arsenal 2 at St James's Park, and it was that man Walt Mayday in the 34th minute who gave Newcastle the lead, and it looked like they would hold on. A nasty injury for Livramento forced him off, and then Marino against his former club, and Gabriel 90+6 got the win. Huge win for Arsenal, and they'll be absolutely buzzing with that. It feels like massive in the title race with Liverpool losing as well, but for Newcastle, more late heartbreak, and they'll be wondering how this game slipped through their fingers. Moving on into Everton 1, West Ham 1 at Goodison Park. Oh, sorry, not Hill Dickinson. Now I forgot. Michael Keane in the 18th minute gave Everton the lead before Bowen in the 65th minute levelled things up. And yeah, it was quite an even game. I'd say draw probably a fair result under Nuno's first game in charge of West Ham. And yeah, I think he will see it as a promising start. To be fair. Wasn't a lot to separate two sides. Everton, as we've seen so far this season, can be a tough place to go. So yeah, I think he'll be relatively encouraged by it. And before I go, we're going to have a quick preview of the games coming up in Europe this week, starting off with Bodo Glimt versus Tottenham. And yeah, of course, these two faced each other in the Europa League last year, and I just feel like this is a game which Tottenham won't have too many troubles in. I think, yeah, they'll probably have far too much for Bodo here. Chelsea against Benfica. Of course, the return of Jose Mourinho to Stamford Bridge is going to be very interesting. Benfica, yeah, I mean, they've picked up slightly since Jose arrived, but I just think it's a game that Chelsea needs to win with recent dodgy form, and I think they probably will have enough. And then Galatasaray against Liverpool, yeah, like I say, it's another intriguing game. Galatasaray on a great run, but you look at the quality in the Liverpool sides, and yeah, you probably expect them to have enough in that game to secure the win too. Moving on into Wednesday's Champions League game, probably a similar story for Arsenal at home to Olympiacos. Monaco hosting Man City is a tough one. And I think same for Union against Newcastle. But yeah, to be honest, I look at all 6 of those games and I think there's no reason why the Premier League teams can't win all of those. And then you look into Feyenoord against Aston Villa. That is a tough game. I could see Feyenoord possibly getting a result against Villa there, especially with Villa's struggles recently. Forest at home to Midtjylland. I think that should be a Forest win. And in the Europa League, Kiev is a tough game for Crystal Palace first up. But I think, yeah, it should be a win for Crystal Palace in that one. So yeah, hopefully a productive week for the English teams in Europe coming up.
Hey guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share and subscribe. Follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily F1 news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.